Ryan here with LongRangeOnly.com. In today's video, we're going to talk about the Defiance XM Ultralight. Okay, and we're going to talk about this from basically two different standpoints. So we're going to talk about it from the ultralight, and we're going to talk about why I like the ultralight and why you would choose the ultralight, whether it be short, medium, or long action. And then we're going to talk about the XM, or what I would consider the medium. I don't think that's what they call it, but it sits between a true short action and a long action. And we're just going to talk real quick about Defiance. The thing that sets Defiance apart from a lot of the other actions out there is they are one of only a couple that will truly make you a custom action. I know a lot of people throw the term custom action around, but really what most of those actions are low batch production actions. They don't offer you a lot of separate options. You might have some bolt knob options or some fluting options, and obviously long and short, those types of things, but they don't offer you a lot of separate actual options. Defiance, I can't even sit here and tell you all of the options they have. Different bolt handles, bolt knobs, bolt shrouds, different styles of fluting, different bolt noses here. They have control round feed, M16 style extractors. I think most of them, other than the control round feed, I think are a plunger style ejector. But as far as bolts, there's several different options there. And then they've got different tangs. They've got different options as far as the mag box. I do believe they make stuff specifically for BDLs, and then stuff that you would use for AICS. They make round. I think they make multi-flat. They've got several different options as far as the mounting system, round actions. They've got this ultralight here. They got complete rails. They got split rails. And the options truly are very, very vast. So they, like I said, are one of the only, what I would consider to be true custom actions. So we're not really going to talk about all of the separate features I chose for this, but this one is an XM Ultralight. So let's address the XM first. So the short mags are some of my favorite cartridges. You got the 7 WSM, the 300 WSM. I'm not a big 270 fan, but it's a really excellent cartridge if you are a 270 fan. 6.5 PRC. You got some of the Sherman shorts out there, which are basically versions of the short action Ultra Mag. But I don't like them in short actions. I wouldn't build any of them in the short action personally, and I have typically built those on long actions, and with a little bit of feeding, they feed fine. I personally think for any custom rifle, any rifle that you're going to spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on, you should have it tuned either by the gunsmith that put it together or do it yourself. So realistically, to get a short mag to feed in a long action, I don't think it takes a lot of extra work, but some people have complained about that, and some people, for whatever reason, get wrapped around the axle about having that extra ½ inch of space in their magazine box. It makes no sense to me, but I will admit that this XM with a 3.2 inch internal mag box length is an excellent option for most of those. It still does with the bigger bullets in like the 7mm, like the 195 and the 7mm short mags, and the 220s and 230s and the 300 WSM. It's still a little bit short, but if you have the rifle throated accordingly, it's still going to be great. So I think if you're going to build a short mag, the medium actions are one of the best options out there. And this Defiance action is definitely one of my favorites. I've had, I used to be able to say pretty much every action, but now it seems like there's a vendor popping up every other day that's making action. So I just can't say that I've shot them all, but the popular names, I've shot them all, and Defiance is definitely one of the favorites. They're super smooth. I do recommend getting them nitrided. It does make a little bit of difference, but even the the non-nitrided ones are still smooth. It really has to do with the tolerances in the machining. And their cock on close, their timing is near perfect, which is very important to me. But as far as choosing the XM, I think we've covered that. I think for a short mag, XM's the way to go. There's more and more stock availability, and then the barrels themselves, it doesn't matter. The barrel doesn't care what it's screwed to. There's lots of options out there for pre-fits in some of the more popular, like the 7 SOM and the 6.5 PRC, 300 WSMs. You got to kind of watch what the throats are if you're very specific or wanting to be very specific to the bullets that you're wanting to shoot. And some of them are actually made for short action, so the pre-fits may not be a best option for an XM, but if you are looking at those, just check with your gunsmith or ask questions. If you're capable of actually threading the barrel on and putting it together yourself, then you should know about the proper free bores and that type of stuff. But like I said, I think that covers the XM portion of it. Now let's talk about the ultralight. We did a review on the Anti-X, and if you absolutely have to have the least amount of weight, if you're counting those ounces, then it's a great option. It's a little clunky for me because the bolt flutes are a little bit too deep, and when you're cycling over cartridges in the magazine box, I just don't like the feel. Now, granted, if you're hunting in most situations, you're probably either going to not have one chambered, or you're already going to have one chambered, so then you're going to fire it, slide it back, and then feed it, and it may not be an issue. But I just didn't love it. Like I said, it is a great action, very smooth, and it's got that Defiance quality. So if you're counting ounces, don't overlook it. But this XM is only an ounce or two heavier in the weights that I've put on my scale, and I think it's perfect, really. If for most scopes, you'll have no problem getting them mounted on these two pedestals here. Depending on whether you go short, long, or this medium, I would make sure that you talk to Defiance about the actual spacing between those pedestals, and then make sure that it will accept your scope, or just choose a different scope, and you should be fine. You know, the NX8s, this Maven RS5 fit fine. The 20 power Night Force may be an issue on some of them. The 20 power NX8, the Leupold Mark 5s, which I wouldn't recommend running anyways. The 18 power may be a little short on maybe a long action. Like I said, just check with them if you do decide to go with the XM. But we really don't need all those options for mounting these Picatinny scope rings. These pedestals do what we need, and they save weight. They save the weight that we don't need. So I really think that even if I were going to go with a long action Defiance, I would go with the ultralight. I think the flutes are perfect, and like go back to what I started with as far as the customization. It's possible that you could get them to do some of that Anti-X stuff with a little bit less fluting in the bolt, and it may fill that gap. But this ultralight doesn't leave me wanting, so it's definitely the one that I would choose for builds if you're going with Defiance. It's got the typical side bolt release on this. I think we talked about most of the other features. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. It's got that Defiance quality, nice, smooth cycling. It's got very good bolt timing. They have countless options as far as what you get to choose, and they're definitely more than happy to sit and talk to you about what you want and what your expectations are, and they can kind of walk you through those options. If you're building a short mag, I strongly encourage you to take a look at the XM, that medium length with the 3.2 inch internal magazine box. And I would choose the ultralight. Like I said, it shaves all the weight that we don't need without getting rid of too much material. So that's it. We'll have a link down below to a thread on the forum. Head on over there and ask me any questions you have about it. If I didn't answer something, or you want to know something more specific, I'll be more than happy to help you with that. If you're not a member on the forum, it's quick, it's free, it's easy to sign up. Just go ahead and do that. And There's a lot of good information on there, a lot of great guys, and we would love to have you. Please like the video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and turn on notifications so you'll be informed of future video releases. We appreciate you taking the time to watch. Have a great day.